Welcome to Talk Cosmos, the show where Sue Rose Minahan and her panel of guests bring you leading-edge astrology conversations through a journey of soul growth patterns connecting astrology's energetic cycles. Get ready to understand your path in the cosmic roots of the stars.
Hello, I'm Sue Rose Minahan, and I'm founding host of Talk Cosmos. And we have conversations, awakening your authentic self. And we have various panels. We have several, but tonight and today, depending on where you're located, we have a most intriguing one. It's called Astro JAM, and it involves charts that the astrologers have no idea what they are. And in the process, we talk about it from the aspect that we are a planet. Because, hey, right inside of us, that is what's happening. We have energies that are always dialoguing and talking, and it's this miracle of actually, there I am again. It's like the eclipse right now. Things are coming in and things are going out. We had a whole lot of backstage stuff happening, and we're so grateful that all of you are listening. So the point is, we're going to get right into it, and I'm going to introduce the folks. We have 5 of them. Many of them have been on in different ways before, and it's always a thrill to have these great souls with me. So we have, and I'm trying to get organized here. We have, well, we'll just identify each one of them. Nathan, if you can bring them all 5 on, all of us. Thank you. At the top left is Marie O'NEIll, located in Santa Rosa, California. And yes, and on the top right is Israel Ahosi of London. He's at 9 o'clock at night and joining us. And at the bottom left as the screen is Sean Kelly, also, well, just outside of Santa Rosa, more in Nevada City, California. And then we have Justin Crockett-Elsie, that is in the state of Washington on the peninsula of Port Angeles and also in Seattle. So I'm going to have each one of you identify what your website is, because everybody can get a hold of you at the Talk Cosmos website. Marie, why don't you start, and then we'll go to Israel, Sean, and then Justin.
Sure. Hi. My website is padmalifecoaching.com, and I can be reached through that website at marie@padmalifecoaching.com. You can reach me there. You can reach me through my book website, which is marie@andthelotusopened.com. I've got several. So anyway, those are the main 2.
And do you have an upcoming event? I know that you have these 2 retreats, or not retreats, but healing organizations.
Right. Well, what I'm actually doing right now is teaching astrology through Stephen Forrest's Evolutionary Astrology School. I'm doing that. Yes, I'm doing that, and I'm continuing, of course, coaching people. I don't have an event coming up in May or June, so I don't have a retreat scheduled just yet, but I will have one taking place. I will have one.
Very good. People can connect. Well, thank you, Marie. It's always a treat to have you.
Thanks.
Love it. And Israel, hello. It's so great to have met. We have had that great opportunity on the 20th of March, opening up the Talk Cosmos.
The vernal equinox,
Yes, and please tell folks, I know you're the president of the Astrological Lodge of London, so I'd love to hear just a bit more how people can
people can get me. My personal website's down at the moment. They're trying to get it back up, but it should be up in the next couple of days. It's www.sacredplanets.com. I'll repeat that again, www.sacredplanets.com. You can also reach me via the website of the Astrological Lodge, which I'm the president of currently, and that's www.astrolodge.co.uk. That's www.astrolodge.co.uk. And you can also, for those of you who are on Facebook, if you put my name, Israel Ojozi, you can also find me there as well. So, yeah, I'm quite easy to get hold of.
Yeah, it's so true. And I do have you on Talk Cosmos with all the fifth season. And at the very end of this, too, will be all the guests here along with just their contact. But it's a little bit of an introduction of knowing. And Israel handles so many facets of astrology too, which is the metaphysical involved, which I find so fascinating. Yes. And Sean, hello. It's always great to connect with you, Sean Kelly. And perhaps you will tell a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, first off, I don't really do astrology as a profession. So I don't have a website that focuses on that, although I've been a student of astrology for 30 years running, and worked very closely with some of the best out there, which I'm just honored to have.
Yes, Jan Speller.
Yeah, Jan Speller and Michael Luton, and the list goes on.
Jeff Jowers, Rick Levine. It's amazing.
Yeah, I had
you do have
tarot.com. I was driving that from 06 to 09. But if I was going to push someone towards the site, I would just recommend my sister, or my not my blood sister, but my sister by choice, which is Dr. Laura Tad, mythicsky.com. She's amazing.
Oh, well, you are blessed. And you do have anthology brands, which I think is where people could get a hold of you. But what I love too about your energy coming into this is that astrology is involved actually with everything. So being of a perception is whether we know astrology. So thank you for joining us. Love it. Pleasure. And Justin, last but never least, tell us about yourself. And I know you have a new website and you bridge here I'm stealing your thunder, but the Western and the Vedic. And you're doing herbology these days and essential oil. So maybe I've told it all, but you could wrap it up. Here, go ahead.
Yeah, so you can get a hold of me at www.justinCrockettLZ.com. And primary right now, I'm focusing on research and writing. I'm writing a book. And so I do in-depth reading. So that's really kind of where what's upcoming for me is just really honing in and just one-on-one with people right now. But I will be at the NORWAC, so I'm kind of excited about that. So that's what I do.
Oh, thank you very much for reminding me, because in fact, Talk Cosmos will have a table at NORWAC. So if anybody here listening happens to be in the Seattle area and they're not actually attending the conference, you can find us in the bookstore, and I have bookmarks. You can come and collect a couple and use them in those books. But Justin will be there on Sunday, and I'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In fact, Justin will be there Saturday too, along with Liz Mouchette. And so that'll be a lot of fun. And that's on Memorial Day weekend. So thank you for reminding me about NORWAC. Now, we've spent a few minutes here, but this is the mystery of it. We have a chart that nobody knows. And who would like to start off with the first? Who wants to look at it? And I usually do, but okay, here is our chart. Everybody can see it. And this is a sun chart. In other words, it's not a time of day. So the sun is on the ascendant, but that's a powerful point for this chart.
Yeah. Okay. So we're not using using the houses be out of the question because it's not a time chart?
Exactly, not for this.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sorry about that. It'll be mostly just the planets, planets speaking. Because, and I'll begin. I am an individual that it just seems that everything is like, why? Why do others happen? Why is this essence? Do I die as myself, or is there? I just don't. I wish I need to understand.
Well, I got to tell you, I agree with you. You are going to die, and I'm going to help you do that because you have got to disintegrate so before you can regenerate. And we're going to take you into the underworld to do this. You're going really deep into the underworld and you're going to dig, dig, dig for all of the ways you have deluded yourself and the shadow and so that you can actually emerge as the phoenix, renewed. But you've got to die first. So I'm going to help you do that.
And I might say, I did not say I was the sun, and I think Marie said she was Pluto. So in other words, yeah. So because we are a little fresh here.
Yeah.
So as you go ahead, we can choose any planet. We don't have to be the same planet.
Well, I think the first thing, I think maybe because it's a sunrise chart, so to speak, I do. The first thing that somewhat caught my eye was the Sun Jupiter conjunction there.
So you're
Taurus.
Jupiter. Speak as Jupiter then. I am Jupiter. And
Jupiter. Okay, I will. I will speak as Jupiter. So I am Jupiter. I am large. I grant many opportunities. I love to give and protect and enjoy myself, indulge myself. I am the bringer of luck. So I provide you luck. I provide life. I provide growth. I provide fertility. I make things fertile. So without me, nothing grows, nothing expands.
I'll go with I am Mercury, and I am in my house. I'm in my place. I'm in Gemini, and I like where I'm at. I'm articulate here. I know how to express my desires because I'm sitting right next to Venus, and I love to talk. I love to have command of the facts. I love to communicate, and I'm also supporting, my Jupiter and my Sun, them as far as needing to communicate how I'm seeking and growing, and what I want to communicate to the world with.
Well, I'll be the moon in the third. Well, I guess it really doesn't have a third, excuse me. But the moon conjunct the south node and trining that Pluto over there. It's like I know what transformation is. I know how to be sensitive to it. I easily sidestep emotional confrontation. And I thrive at bringing nurturing through all of that. In fact, I know it so well. Kind of out of balance with, the dad stuff. Really, I'm like a super mom. I've been a super mom forever.
Oh, mammy. Oh, my goodness. Well, I should not say that, but my mother, it's like I am the father. I am that part of you that needs to really restrict. I am Saturn. And I know that you get so deep trying to figure out really, it's like part of me wants to sense the realities that are beyond all realities, but really my part is to somehow find that vessel, that structure. I really struggle a lot with knowing how to release too much of that struggle, that essential part of me that wants to know that my boundaries are here and my boundaries are over there. And it just seems that I'm always worried about the nurturing, and then again, yes, those deep emotional part of me in my moon nurturing part that does think of myself as the mother. But hey, who's the mother anyway? Can't the father be the mother? I mean, what is this? I just think I need to unify, or need to get my manifestation settled.
I am the North Node, and I'm here to pull you towards your destiny. I'm actually what will help you heal, because you, as the moon, as Saturn, this is what you've done down through lifetimes. This is who your karmic story. And you've had an issue with boundaries and with structure, and I'm here to help you set those boundaries. But the problem is, to help you do that, you have to heal first, because you're not hearing me. I'm rather dormant right now, sitting here in Capricorn. I'm the one who will help you climb that mountain to reach your goal. I'm the one who will give you the gold after you reach the summit. But I am just sitting here waiting on you to do your deep work so that you can have what you want.
I'm Ceres. I am an Aquarius, and I'm really here to help you, show you how you are nurtured in this life and in support of your thinking and your communications. And because I'm in Aquarius, I am really nurtured by being out there in social media and talking to people in a larger group. And where I'm showing you lessons because I'm in opposition to your Saturn in Leo, I am teaching you a little bit about ego within the group space. And so I have to, as series, listen to what Saturn's telling me in Leo, and really trying to balance how I'm noticed in a group and my communications in the group.
I am Mars. I am at home. I'm fiery. I'm hot. I'm here to show you how to be a leader, how to be courageous, how to be independent, how to be brave. I am the impulse and the motivation of your life. Be brave, be courageous, learn to be quick, independent and spontaneous, and you will feel the passions and the potency of life. I'm also in a square with the moon, so this makes me extremely instinctual and emotional at the same time. My assertiveness, aggressiveness is automatically triggered by my emotions because of this. However, I am the key to your survival.
I am Venus in Gemini, and I like to attract people to me who I can communicate with, who want to hear me. I am beautiful. I love wonderful words. I love reading novels. I love writing. I love being in relationship with language, with communication. And I'm actually accessing the midheaven in a good way. I am for the collective. I um, I want to spread goodwill. I want to help build right human relationships. That's what I'm about, and I use my communication style to actually do that. That is my nectar.
And I am Neptune. I really love to dissolve the essence of who and what the ego might be. Is it really oneself, or how might it be that, because I too look to the structure of life and with Saturn as the, but I'm letting that, but in this sense, releasing, and it's, there's so much that I see that connects, and there needs to be a greater spiritual connection that we can understand, that will be our 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 fun, our basis, our basis.
I am the ascendant, and I came first. I'm in Gemini, and so I'm your mask to the world. I'm showing you how you uh, move forward in the world. And so in Gemini, I'm the child. I am curious. I look at life with a sunny face. I'll be younger than the rest of you later in life. And it to me, it is about experience and communications. And what I'm actually having to learn here a little bit or teach you a little bit is, because I am trying your series in Aquarius, another air sign, there's a good flow of information. I know how to communicate well within a group collective. But because I'm squared Uranus and Virgo, I'm having to learn about some discernment in a group, and to let go of criticalness, and to be more discerning and discriminating, and use my intelligence in a right way in my communications in a group.
I thank everybody. And Sean, did you have one last thing? Because we're going to tie that. I'm going to tell you what chart this is in a moment.
Yeah, thanks for asking. You know, I fixated on the Neptune Venus in conjunction, or where they're just it's almost like human love and what spiritual love is kind of out of sync.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. Well, any ideas who this could be, or the time zone?
No.
I'll tell you. Socrates.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Communications.
Because Pluto is so elliptical. Pluto lasted like 1,000 years, I think. Oh no,
Not at that.
No, not
Wow.
1,000. Yeah, but a long time in it was
In
the
Scorpio?
it was the age of Scorpio that lasted so long. Well, okay, I'm getting mixed up here, but I know that Egypt, it was a long time because it's elliptical. I mean, right now, Pluto is in Capricorn, but when it was in
when I believe when it's in because when he went through,
that's right, it's the shortest amount of time.
That was the shorter.
Yeah.
When he was in Taurus, he spent about up to 30 years.
Yes, that's right.
When
that's
he's
right.
at that
Okay,
side of the
Yeah.
Flip me away. I'm sorry. And the year is a little bit different. I read astro.com. It has 467 BC on May 20th. And unfortunately, I don't have the next chart. I can't remove that.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah. And then others, I happen to be part of a historical ancestor. ancient history, and they
Right.
said it was 470, so it's a little bit wobbly. But we will see in this chart, this could tie in with, because right now the nodes happen to be 22 degrees. Anyway, we will set with this, but
It's a beautiful
Socrates,
chart. Beautiful chart.
It really is.
Yeah, the way the nodes lay out
indeed.
to the sun and the moon sun sextile, it's really incredible.
Yeah, and then when you even look at the chart, it's a bucket, or with Pluto as the handle.
At the handle, yeah.
Yeah.
And now we know he had mother-daddy issues.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know, I would, now he was a student of Plato, and when I read about this, and I have a wonderful site that is at the end that you could read that tells there's so much about it, but he had a different view from the Athenians, because they believed that the world had chaos, Gaia, and Eros. But he felt that if we applied ourselves to the loving factors that he thought that the universe and God was really giving, that we would emulate that. And that there was, so the love factor really was huge. I think that's what you were tying in, Sean, at the end. But everybody had that ability. And of course, people didn't agree with him. I think he was killed. So
yeah, he was.
Yeah, he talk about that Virgo. He had a lot of criticism that square finally, but yet he is one of the foundational platforms, along with Plato and then his student Aristotle, that is the basis of Western thought, whether it's England or the United States or Australia or anywhere.
So they killed the messenger.
Yes, that's true.
Marie, didn't you start off with that, with like, I'm going to help you die?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, but in a way, he was really looking at the fact that because one of his big ideas was that if we see our gods as accurately, then our lives won't be confused, because in their mind, the gods could be good or bad, and it was confusing. And he was saying, no.
Well, they're both. Well, the point is, what was his lesson? What was he supposed to get out of that incarnation? I mean, he had great gifts that he was given, but you know, I look at this chart, and what comes to mind is the person who specializes in, say, being the cobbler, but the cobbler's children have no shoes. I mean, this is the way I'm looking at this.
Well, he said there's two things that are in history when you write about. One was piety. He felt that piety, which I think maybe got a little carried away with some religions. But the point is that if we, because really at that time, it was like with Plato, it was the idea of the perfection existed and then emulating the perfection, or was it that we emulate the perfection, then we see the perfection? So it was very philosophical instead of so literate that later became. And the other was that life had a purpose. So perhaps his purpose was just to clarify things, along with, like we were saying, like Mercury wanting to connect so much and wanting to.
And I think it's rather interesting that he's got these planets in Gemini. Especially Mercury, and he didn't write a book, according to
there's nothing written.
There's nothing written by him. It was all
right.
But his students that came later, Plato and Aristotle after that also as well, were did obviously write things down, but it seems like he had this great idea, and I think that Sun Jupiter probably also is the philosopher that can be a philosopher, Sun Jupiter.
And the courage that you brought out with Mars, and then with Ceres that Justin was speaking of, of the group and nurturing that, and so it really was more instinctual, because his son is in Taurus. He's not. He has verboseness, but yet he is more of a picture person.
I would say. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that it's fascinating that in esoteric astrology, Venus is the ruler of Gemini versus Mercury. So what he has here is the esoteric and the exoteric rulers side by side. To me, he was an advanced being, soul. That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
He had to be, his consciousness had to be more advanced than the average person when you look at it this way. And the meaning of Venus and Gemini is really about right human relationships. I mean, exoterically, you've got the twins side by side, the personality and the soul. Whereas if you're looking at, I'm sorry, this way, it's the higher consciousness and the lower consciousness.
Yes, lateral instead of hierarchical.
Yeah.
And thank you, Marie.
Yeah,
and
I was going to say really quickly before we have to go to stage break is that I think, you asked the question ultimately, what was his lesson? Because we always talk about how he was to the world, but nothing, internally to him. I think Marie hit it on from the very beginning, because anytime I've seen a person with Pluto on either the ascendant or descendant, and it's really, and he's got it in Scorpio, so it's almost like he never really. It's almost like he's in constant transformation of his own self here.
Yes.
And because it's in opposition to the sun, so it's almost like, who am I? So from that perspective, internally, Pluto is our master, what we have to master. He was having to master really who he was.
Yeah.
And life.
Right. Yeah, he was. Because Scorpio is always saying, it's always taking away what Taurus has. Because I mean, in an opposition, because it wants Taurus to keep refining.
Well, thank you all. I know that each one of you, and Sean, all of you have wonderful. Well, we are a little past our break moment, and we'll keep that, and we'll come back for a second, because I want to do a tri-will afterwards, which will be very interesting. So we'll see you soon. Astro Jam. Thank you.
While we take a break from this week's edition of Talk Cosmos, let's take a look at this cycle's archetype. We're currently in the period of Taurus. By leaving a cycle based upon initiation, the energy of Taurus integrates spirit into a solid form of matter that is tangible and physical. It's an earth sign, concerned with self-sufficiency and the values to maintain the strength of a life form throughout its survival.
Hi, it's Dr. Laura Tad, and I wanted to let you know about my course in personal mythology. Now offered as a self-paced online class, you can explore the stories you live by and those you have inherited from your ancestors, culture, and society. This course comes with 8 30-minute check-ins with me as you move through each of the modules. Enrollment is ongoing. For more information or to register, please go to my website, mythicsky.com.
Talk Cosmos brings you leading-edge astrological conversations with hour-long programs each week on KKNW. The show goes live every Sunday from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific. Talk Cosmos weekly programs are also available to watch live on Facebook and YouTube, along with daily chats throughout the week on the Talk Cosmos YouTube channel. While you're there, make sure you click like and subscribe buttons so you can get the full Talk Cosmos experience. Or, if you'd rather listen to the show archives with audio only, the entire podcast collection since 2018 is available on most podcast carriers. So, grab your coffee, tea, or kombucha and enjoy the show.
This is Susie Kerr-Wright, astrologer and psychic medium, and you're listening to Talk Cosmos on Alternative Talk 1150 AM, where we discuss the meaning of our roots in the stars.
Make it a great day. Keep your dial on Alternative Talk 1150.
Oh, hello. Gee, we lost somebody I know. Oh, no, get everybody back again. Good. Oh, there's Sean. Good. Well, yes, here we are, Astro Jam on May 1st, just after the eclipse. And we have Marie O'NEIll, Israel Ahosi, Sean Kelly, and Justin Crockett. Elsie. And we just finished Socrates. So now to the second mystery one. And Nathan, bring it to us. Okay, here we are. This is a noon chart, just to let you know. And
Saturn and Leo. Oh.
You know, it's again, I'm going to come from Pluto. I am transforming the sun of my being, and I want in that capacity it to be ever working, where the power is going to be radiant.
I will take Venus. I am Venus. I am in a sign that is very hot and somewhat contrary to my way of being. However, I bring beauty. I bring creative beauty, and I am next to the sun, so I also beautify the sun, who is the ruler also of the ascendant. So my being in Aries allows me to be an independent person. I don't conform to the traditional way of how my perhaps my involvement with relationships, how I attract, how I go about expressing my sexuality, is often seen as going against or very unconventional in some way. However, I am fiery. I can be feisty. However, I have my way of bringing love into the world in a very brave and courageous way.
Well, I am Mercury in Aries. And of course, I am an initiator when it comes to conversation, when it comes to communicating. I am that spark, that initial sparks that gets the ideas going. And I can be very forceful when I choose to be. And, of course, I'm right. I'm always going to be right with my communication, with what I say. And I'm going to be on stage. I'm going to take the lead. I'm like a Maserati. I'm going to be out front and I'm going to stay there with my communication. And because I am in a great, great communication with Saturn, there is a purpose to whatever it is I say. Even though I do seem ungrounded with my communication, there's actually a great grounding there, and I find myself full of ideas. The ideas just flow like drinking water to me, and I put those ideas into action. I don't necessarily follow through with completing everything, but because I have a connection with Saturn, I do better than most.
I'm Jupiter. And you know what? I just have to speak my voice. I have all that stuff I'm going to defend, and I'm going to be causes. And by golly, Moses, it's going to be, there's been pain and there's been, but we got to like raise things up. We got to make things like, get the voice out and get this done. That's what I say. We got to like really work at it. And it's not easy because, you know, I can see that the structure of stuff is it's sort of set, but we got to defend stuff. I mean, we got to speak it out.
I am the lunar nodes. South node is Ketu and the north node being Rahu. And I'm ultimately, or I think I feel I'm ultimately telling you what this chart is about. And that innately I come into this life with a South node in Libra where it's all about working with others and not trying to do it myself and innately trying to get along and always partnering. But in this life, I'm learning to actually be more independent, do it myself, be impulsive, be self-confident, be independent. And I'm really supported in this chart. My Rahu is really supported in this chart with all the fire in Aries and all these planets in Aries. But my challenges will be with communications because I'm an amazing communicator as I'm trying, my South node's trying Uranus, but my South node is also squared Jupiter that wants to learn and learn and learn and communicate in Aquarius. So I'm really learning how I need to balance my energy, my fire energy, between working with others or when I need to go it alone.
And I'll be the moon. Only water in the chart. And boy, 15 Scorpio, we don't know where this person is. You know, you guys don't know where I'm coming from. I'm so enigmatic. In fact, I'm probably just going to keep it all hidden because I got so much other fiery stuff going on. But if I need to cut something, I know how to cut it. And I know how, and you know, and I feel extreme about everything that's going on. And I'm going to just take that and put it in the back seat and keep focused on what I need to do to drive my tribe, my public appeal. Boy, cross me.
Yeah, and I'm going to be Chiron. I am wounded. I have felt these wounds and of being crossed and the anguish and my philosophies and how to get my voice, that voice out. So I am so grateful. I am grateful that I have some emotional backing, even though I have no way of connecting with it.
I will be the sun. I am exalted since I am in the sign of Aries. I am the ruler of the ascendant. So this provides me a stage, a presence to be seen, to shine, to somewhat be adored. Being that I am in the sign of Aries, I have the ability to initiate, be potent, and lead, which is often and will be seen in the areas of my profession or career, being that I am in the 10th house. I am being aspected by Venus and Mercury by conjunction. So I have a sense of beauty and also strong communication skills. And I'm also conjunct the North Node. So this gives me a strong sense of purpose in the world, a drive to want to always want more, to want to be somewhat ambitious, going out into the world and want to create more, get more, conquer more. That is who I am, the Sun.
Thank you, everybody. Now, does anybody, because of the time, I think we've covered this, and I'm eager to reveal it. Does anybody have a thought? I know.
I was looking at this, and it's still, I think it's a genius in a lot of ways. And the reason I say that is because Uranus and Gemini it's
connected to the nodes. Yeah.
It's connected to the nodes, and it's connected to the ruler of Gemini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I like it to say this person's really driven.
Yes.
And Sean,
Maserati is it, right?
Yeah.
All fire and air.
Yeah. And then with that water, that's so important. Okay. This is NATO.
What?
Wow.
NATO?
Whoa.
NATO.
Oh, wow.
Woo.
Yeah. April
Wow.
14th, I believe. I've got it listed.
Ooh.
And it was
Wow.
1949 in Washington, D.C. And I put a noon chart on it because it's hard to know when they stamp those. But look at that powerful stance of defense and having a voice, and then yet in that deep emotional, like you caught that, really like, boy, this is about life and death, and then all the whole business. Nathan, can we go to the next slide? Okay, now I'm not going to go big into this, but I'm going to show you a tri-wheel, and just to identify that this is going to be one of the charts, which was yesterday, which was a solar eclipse at 10 degrees. And this, of course, is exact, and it's in East Coast, although I didn't do it. Okay, so now, Nathan, can we do the next slide? Okay, here is a tri-wheel. Now, I did 2 tri-wheels. One starts from NATO's standpoint. This is NATO in the middle going, I'm NATO. And I've got this eclipse. And how can I, as a Western person in this world that we're living in, what does Socrates even have to say about it all? Because if we look at it, interestingly, we've got NATO, which is
the middle, the inner chart.
The inner chart, yeah.
And
the eclipse is the one in the middle, and then the one on the outside is Socrates.
And maybe I saw it a little wrong in my head here, but at any rate, because of the 22s. But the point is that if we take the solar eclipse, and maybe what it's saying, if anything, I mean, this is like bridging in my head, taking the north node of our solar eclipse and trying to find a connection with what maybe the essence of let's see, NATO. Nathan, can we do the last slide? Okay, this goes from the solar eclipse.
Right. Okay.
And I don't know if either one makes a great deal of sense. Do you think you like the other one better, or do you like it coming from?
I like the other one better.
Let's go the other one better.
Okay, let's go back.
Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah, because I think wasn't Socrates' sun conjunct the eclipse, conjunct the north node?
It's close because the eclipse is at 10 degrees and Socrates' sun is at 22 degrees. So
okay.
Not conjunct, but in the same sign.
Yeah, it's in the same sign.
Actually,
I think that's picking up an essence.
NATO and the north node are exact 22 Taurus.
Right.
See?
Yeah.
The sun and NATO's north degree. So it is really a matter of trying to say, like, aligning ourselves and that it is the good. But
I'm just saying they're much more powerful than I actually thought that they were.
So you're saying so it's Socrates' sun, which is on the north node, which is conjunct the north node of the eclipse
Right, that's what I was looking at.
Of the eclipse, yeah.
And I'm seeing Jupiter-Venus conjunction for the eclipse is right there, sextile his Jupiter. that plays too.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, bringing it back to today, and I don't want to, you know, just put Socrates aside, but I'm more interested in what the solar eclipse is saying to NATO. And what really grabs my eye here is this Pluto-Jupiter in synastry, this conjunction, as we know that Sweden and Finland are about ready to join NATO, that Pluto in Capricorn, conjuncting the 0 degrees Jupiter in Aquarius, we see the change of structure of NATO right now.
Yeah,
then of course, what also jumps out at me is the Chiron in Aries. It looks like it's conjunct the actual Mars. Of course, amazing all that. Of course, it's NATO. It's all that Mars Aries energy, but there's a Chiron almost. I think it looks like a Chiron conjunction with Mars right now.
Yeah. It's about 5 degrees off, but 5-6 degrees. But yeah,
so it is.
So there's definitely a change in structure in the organization right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's so interesting. And I apologize, I did the 3 here because it would have been great just for the 2. And when you are talking, because I have such trouble. Oh, and also we have audience people that can't see this, as always a reminder, which I'm a little late mentioning. So to speak of it that way. So for our audience that can see it, we're only talking about the inner 2 here. And so Justin, in a nutshell, can you rephrase that so that we can hear it without seeing it, what you're talking about?
Sure. So in the NATO chart, Jupiter, which is how we seek to grow and expand, is in 0 degrees Aquarius. So this is an organization that really is, you know, in the Western view, and prior military myself, there's a very intellectual space within the officer corps and in NATO. It's very intellectual. But what we see here is that in the solar eclipse, the Pluto being at 28 degrees Capricorn is conjunct that Jupiter. So this means there's a change in structure, a change in thinking, a change in the organizational structure at this particular period of time. And we see that reflected with their change of strategy, New World Order. And also we see it with Sweden and Finland joining.
Yeah. That's perfect. And, you know, the other thing with Jupiter, we forget, wherever Jupiter is in the chart, the question is, how have we underestimated ourselves? So Pluto's coming there with this big, you can't miss it, telling NATO, how have you underestimated yourself? And, you know, wherever Pluto is, even if it's a conjunction, it's not easy.
Oh gosh.
Well, to speak to that, Marie, Jupiter, transiting Jupiter, applying to NATO's 29 Saturn. It's like a wobbly, like it doesn't quite know where its ground is. It's you know, it's like it's like mud where you thought it was earth.
That's a good analogy. Mud.
Which is actually go ahead.
Which is what I'm thinking is humanity is. There's and this is everybody here, and it is the oh gosh, you put light in Prometheus. Thank you, Prometheus. In the mythology was that he took people and little clay objects made of earth and gave them fire, gave them spirit. And so we have that life force, whether we go back to Socrates or whether we go back before to that. And I guess here we can just see all of us, Nathan, all of us now. Yes. Thank you so much. It's such a great treat to have.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Great stuff. I love this. Love this on May Day too. Happy May Day.
May Day.
Happy May Day.
Yes. Happy May Day. Yes, definitely. But I love the way everybody's input, and then when you revealed who it was, how we could see that energy within, whether it be Socrates or with NATO, we saw that energy coming through. So I really love that. Thank you.
Well, the next one will be in summer because it's quarterly, and I have it, I think, at the end of August. So keep that in mind, and I'll let you know. So it was great fun. Thank you, Justin.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Sean, Marie, and Israel.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
And thank you, Susie.
Cosmos, the show where Sue Rose Minahan and her panel of guests connect soul growth patterns with the energetic cycles of astrology. Be sure to tune in next Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time to continue your journey through the roots of the cosmic pathway.